We all, as humans, struggle with problems ranging in severity every day of our lives. For some, the worst thing they might go through on any given day is spilling their coffee, while for others, they might have just lost a family member and are dealing with the trauma of that. People struggle through horrible and traumatic things throughout life, but we are always able to recover and keep moving because we know that tomorrow is a new day and we still have the power and freedom to decide where we take our lives from there. Some people do not have that luxury. For some people, children especially, they wake up and every day is not theirs, but is in fact stolen from them. I am talking about the sad tragedy of child sex trafficking. Child sex trafficking is the biggest societal issue in this world today. These kids are abused and raped and murdered, and it is not talked about enough because people are afraid to. This is a problem that must be handled because of the insane scale it occurs on, the fact that it occurs everywhere, and because no one should ever have to deal with and experience what these children do every day over and over again until they are dead. And it can be solved by shining the light of mainstream media directly on this issue and seeking legal action against these people. This issue is in such need of immediate attention because it affects everyone everywhere. While this issue may be more prevalent in certain areas, it is not limited to anywhere in particular. It happens in every socioeconomic level all over the US. According to UNICEF, child sex trafficking occurs in all 50 states. I spent much of my personal life living right next to the town of Vista, which is a hotspot for child sex trafficking. It is a tough pill to swallow, accepting that this issue happens in our own backyard, but the scale is even more shocking. Child sex trafficking is such a dire matter because of the insane scale it takes place on. People do not like to accept it, but the reality is so many children fall into this evil every day. According to ABC, around 800,000 children go missing each year in the US. A far smaller portion of that number end up being abducted children by a stranger. Many of these stranger abductions are evil people trying to get another kid into the world of sex trafficking. While it is a far smaller portion in the number of reported missing children, any number above zero is far too many children falling victim to sex trafficking. According to ABC, the FBI has recovered more than 6,600 child victims since 2003. That is only a small portion of the amount of kids still out there living their lives as slaves, used like wash rags until they literally have no life left in them. These things are hard to hear and they are hard for me to say, but is the only way to raise awareness. The numbers of this tragic topic are astounding, but all other factors pale in comparison to the actual events these abused children face every day. This issue needs more attention than any other we are facing in the world right now because of the insane evil horrors that our children have to deal with. More so than any other segment of people, children are who need to be protected and sheltered the most. That is why it is unacceptable that we allow our kids to be taken into this world and sold into trafficking like items. These children have to face the unspeakable every day: torture, rape, forced labor. Once they are taken into this life, they are not themselves anymore, but someone else's property. Children are the most defenseless group of the population. This sadly makes them easy targets for the evil people in this world that wish to do them harm. If these children are even lucky enough to be saved from the life that they are in, they suffer physical and psychological issues for the rest of their lives that they then have to deal with. That sad outcome of dealing with trauma for the rest of your life is the best outcome that one of these children could wish for. For most, they're just used and used and used until they die or are killed. There's no empathy for these children from their hellish abusers. They have no remorse for disposing of a used up child like trash. These factors are exactly why we must bring the issue to light. Children all over the US are bought and sold like clothes every day. Let that sink in. Our own children, your little sister, your little brother, or for some of us, our child, is at risk of falling into this horrible world of child abuse. No one thinks it exists until it happens to someone you know or love. This issue needs more attention than any other right now because it can happen anywhere at any time. The numbers of victims make it a traumatic problem because any number over 0 is far too many, and because it is our children who need to be protected the most, who are experiencing the most unimaginable torture and forced sexual activities anyone could go through. Our children are being raped and murdered, and it is our responsibility to correct it. This issue is a hard pill to swallow, but there is no choice. The only way to begin to fix it is if everyone is aware and looking to root out the problem. Today, I stand simply as myself, one person, and I know that one person may not seem like they can have an effect, but that's the wrong mindset, because one person alone might not be able to affect much, but when so many people have the same views and they come together, that's when real change can happen. We all have to keep that mindset and realize together we have power, and we have the power to stop this issue. These children cannot do it themselves, so we must not let them down, and we cannot rest until no more children are being harmed. Thank you.